power of 9. The recording, yes it is. Okay, so create an expression. Here we go. Create and, should say and, not and. So let's cut that out. That's equivalent to 25 plus 17 by factoring to GCF. So one way of you doing this is by, you can write it like this. Find the greatest common factor. Well, 3 seems to work. 9. 3 goes plus, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. Is there any other number that can go in? No. So another expression, another way of writing 27 plus 15 is writing it 3 parentheses 9 plus 5. And we've done this, right, before. So if you do 3 times 9, you get 27 plus, and you do 3 times 5, you get 15. So this expression written in this manner is exactly the same as 27 plus 15. So let's plot. Here's 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. Let me put -8 over here and then -9 over here. Okay, this is definitely not to scale, but I assume that's it. So -8, -8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8. So -8.8 or 8.80 would be about here, right? So if you plot -8.85, would be to the left or to the right of this? Would it be on this side? Or would it be on this side? Well, after 8.80, it would be 8.81, 8.82, 8.83, 8.84, 8.85. So -8.85 would be on that side, closer to 9, right? Approaching that side. So it definitely would be on the left side. Order from least to greatest. So I like to change this. I change these values here, this one and this one, to decimals. It makes life so much easier. 5 divided by 8 is going to be -0.625. And 7 divided by 12, if you divide, you get 0.5833333. And you know what? Let me just make it 58.3, bar notation negative. So now let's put these numbers in one here. -0.6, and you know what? I'm going to add 2 zeros because everything has 3 decimal places. The other one is -0.625. The other one is -0.583, and the last one is -0.720. They're all in decimal format and very easy to compare. So from least to greatest, because they're negative, the bigger the number, the smaller its value. So this would be in first place, -0.720. In second place, or the second smallest would be this guy, -0.625. And then we're going to get -0.600 or -0.6. And finally, the biggest number would be 0.583 negative. Okay, from least to greatest. For football tryout, there are 12 coaches, 42 players, split into groups. Each group will have the same number of coaches and players. What is the greatest number of groups or teams that can be formed? How many coaches and players per group? This is a GCF problem. Here's 12, 42, right? We want to make, let's see what number works. 6 seems to work. Goes into 2 times 7. So what does that mean? You have to be careful how you interpret. So this, I'm going to write C for coaches and P for players. You're going to have, this means that you're going to have 6 teams. The GCF is 6, by the way. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. That's what it means. 2 coaches in each team. Right? And if you add them up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, it does give you a total of 12. And 7 players. I'm not going to write P 7 times, but 7 players here, 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 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. And if you add up all the number of players, it does have to add up 42. So this is the interpretation that I have based on our GCF. Order from least to greatest again. Well, lucky you. What is the area of the garden? Okay, so area, and we have a garden that is, looks like this, 9.87 meters, and the one's 1.09 meters. How do we find the area of a rectangular shape? The area is length times width, and in this case we're going to multiply 987 times 1.09, and you can multiply that. I am not. Times 1.09, and you're going to get that the area is 10.7583 meters squared. Oh, yeah. So back to this. A grocery store sells 12 bottles of something. So $13 money. Which one has the better buy? Okay, so this is definitely unit rate. So $13.80 for 12 bottles. And the other store has $11.80 for 10 bottles. Which one is the better unit rate? So we're going to change this to one bottle. I'm going to change this to one bottle as well. Right, so in this case here is divide by 12, and on top divide by 12. And we're going to go 13.8 divided by 12 equals $1.15 per bottle, which is pretty expensive. And on this side is 11.80 divided by 10. That's going to give us 118. So which one is cheaper? This guy right here, because it's 3 cents cheaper. He has all these cups of lentils. He wants to use 1/8 of a scoop per cup, 1/8 of a cup. How many per salad? How many salads can he make? It's a division problem. Divided by 1/8. So one of the things we can do is change this to an improper fraction. 9/2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 divided by 1/8. Two choices here are various different ways you can do it. You can draw it out. You can, and the way we did it in class, we found a common denominator, which in this case is 8. So times 4, right? Because we're going to change it to 8, and times 4 versus over here with 36. We can cross this out, right? And write this as a fraction. So it's 36 divided by 1, right? It's the same thing. And which equals 36. So how many salads can you make? 36. Linda makes apple juice in the ratio of 3 to 5. So I'm going to write apples and water, 3 to 5. That's Linda. And over here, Patricia makes apples and water, 5 apples, 9 water. Which one has a stronger juice flavor? Well, I can't compare in the way it is. So let me find something that, so I'm going to use the apples. I'm going to give them both the same amount. So something in common between 3 and 5 is 15. So times 5, right? So here's going to be times 5. It's going to be 25. So I'm going to give this girl here, Patricia, 15 apples as well. Let's see what the ratio is. It's times 3. Times 3. Now, not that they both are using 15 apples, we can clearly see who has a stronger juice flavor because Linda over here uses 25 cups of water and Patricia uses more water, 27. So definitely Linda over here has a stronger apple flavor. So you had an initial ratio of 3 to 5 and the other one 5 to 9. We can't really compare when the ratio is different. So give them something in common. In this case, we both gave them the same amount of apples. Then we found the combination of apples. Okay, sorry about the interruptions. And where are we? Anna, Kiko want to compare heights, 64 inches, 75 centimeters, 1 point. Ugh. Okay, so Anna 64. So we gotta change this everything to give the height of 1 centimeter. So 64 centimeters, 75. Ugh. Let's change everything to centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to convert. So I need to know what the conversion is between 1 inch. So 1 inch, I know that 1 inch, so I'm going to write here 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so let's do Anna first. Let's change that. Anna is 64 inches, and we got to find out what she is in centimeters. Relationship times 64, right? And we're going to go at the bottom, 2.54 times 64, and in centimeters, she's 162.56. So Anna's 162.56 centimeters. Stephanie's 7.5 centimeters short, so Stephanie, to find Stephanie, we take Anna, which is 162.56 centimeters, and we're going to subtract that by 7.5, and you're going to get she's 155 centimeters. Finally, Keiko is 1.5 centimeters shorter, but let me erase this. Let's find out what 1.5 centimeters is. So 1 inch is 2.554 centimeters, 1.5 inches. How many centimeters is that? We're going to find out. Relationship times 1.5. So I'm going to multiply 2.54 times 1.5, and that's 3.81 centimeters. So go back here. I know what Stephanie is. She's 155.06, and I'm going to subtract 155.06 minus 3.81. That's going to give us our height of 151.25 centimeters. Okay, so the trick here was change everything to centimeters and do it step by step. Okay. Sales tax. Oh, okay, so we haven't really talked, but tax is something that you add to your total, right? So sales tax in town where Armand lives is 7%. Armand paid 35, you should say, in sales tax. My new equipment. What was the price of the stereo? So here is 100%. This is 7%, right? 7%. I'm going to leave that there. And 7% represents $35 that he paid, so it's pretty expensive stereo. So let's find out, okay, the price here. It's times 5. Times 5. So 7% and times 5 is 500. So the price of the stereo was $500, in which he paid 35 bucks taxes. 7% of 500 is 35. So the price of stereo was 500. The sales tax was 35, and he ended up paying $535 for the total. But he's only asking you for the price of the stereo. So if this tax was 7% and 7% was 35, what was it based on? Well, it was based on the value of the value of the stereo, which was $500. Numbers can be written using different powers. 81 is 9 squared, 81 3/4. Why 64 using 3 different bases? Well, one base is this, right? 8 to the second power is 2. 8 to the second power is 64, because 8 times 8 is 64. I can use 4 to the 3, because 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. And here, let me just expand that out. And another one is using a base 2. So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. 2 to the 6th power. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gives us 64. So I represent the 64 using different bases. Base of 8, base of 4, and base of 2. Okay. Find the prime factorization of 504. Okay, so let's do that. I can split this into 2 and 252, prime circle. 252, I can divide that by 2 because it's an even number, and I get 2 and 126. 126 is even again, and I can split that out into 63 and 2. 63 is not even, but I can definitely divide it by 3, and that's 3 and 21. Circle. And 21 is 3 and 7. So, in exponential form, well, it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. 1, 2, 3 2s, 2 3s, and 1 7. In exponential form, here's your final answer. Simplify. So, I know you guys love doing this. And I think let's simplify this. So we'll do it step by step inside the parentheses, right? Because it's grouping first. So let's do inside. So it's 12 minus and 36 divided by, I'm going to do 3 squared, which is 9. Notice that I did one thing only. I changed this guy right here. Now I'm still inside the parentheses, and I'm going to leave the 12 alone. Minus, but I'm going to do 36 divided by 9, which is 4. To the 3rd power, so that's 18 minus 5.5 times 3. Inside the parentheses, 12 minus 4 is 8. right? 12 minus 4 is 8, and that's to the third power, plus 18 minus 5 times 3. You know, I could do 5 times 3 because it's not going to affect anything, but I'd like to show you how to do it in order. 8 to the third power is 8 times 8 times 8, and that's going to give us 512. Plus 18 minus 5 times 3. Don't add anything yet. So 512 plus 18 minus 5 times 3 is 15. Don't subtract either. Add these two. 512 plus 18 is 530. Minus 15. Final answer, 515. Translate it to an algebraic expression. So some of you guys have not done this, but we can figure it out. So 4 is 4 times the difference of y and 6. I'm going to multiply the difference of y and 6. So I'm going to multiply y minus 6 because it's the difference. Right? 4 multiplied by the subtraction of y minus 6 plus the quotient.
You bought the laptop that Oaks gave you?
Quotient of k and 9. Quotient of k and 9. So that's my final answer. Quotient means division, right? And I'd rather you use quotient as a division instead of writing k divided by 9. It's much better if you write it in that manner. Okay, so this algebraic sentence translates to this. Okay, 4 times the difference of y and 6, right? So plus the quotient, the division of k and 9. And that's that.